Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today I'm unboxing Sony's brand new VPL 5000 ES laser 4K projector. This is a stunning, relatively affordable projector. Now why I say relatively is that Sony's released two models simultaneously, in fact 3 internationally. 2 are coming to New Zealand. The 5000, 6000, forget about it, 7000 much better, and the 7000 ES. The 7000 ES features better optics and it's brighter with a bigger laser lamp. This comes at the connoisseur end in a dedicated space, which isn't necessarily going to scale to some ridiculous 140 inch screen. But for somebody who's got a 100 to 120 inch screen, a space that they can control the light, the 2000 lumen lamp is going to be absolutely ideal for. With that lamp in mind, it means that the contrast and colour saturations can be managed at a far more cost-effective method, and the end result is something quite a lot more affordable. Perhaps that sort of 20/80 rule applies that we see in so many industries, where this pretty much affordable projector has so much of the bigger brothers features. Nevertheless, let's have a look. Sony. Again, brown boxes, black labelling. The packaging has a cool little wraparound, which means that at any angle you can see the model and serial number and a scan code that wraps around. That's actually emulated on the opposite corner. On one end we've got a little bit of a freight ticket or something like that, and a slot where a power cord can be put in specific to a country of origin. There's a line drawing implying the the projector itself, and the whole thing is sort of just taped closed. Opening this is really straightforward. It's sealed with basic packing tape. So a couple of nicks and you can sort of tear it open without having to drag a craft knife across it. Once open, we get to see a few of the things associated with the packaging and accessories that come with the product. The first is a couple of AA batteries for the remote control, and the second is the remote control itself. Like its big brother, everything is operated via the menu, and the setup is relatively straightforward. The 7000 features motorised focus, motorised lens shift, all of those things, whereas this model is a little bit more manual. Hence why it's got a few less buttons than the previous model. It has a little slip associated with warranty, and in the bottom here the New Zealand IEC power cord. There is 2 pieces of polystyrene either side, front and back, moulded perfectly to the projector's shape to ensure that it arrives to you in one piece. Taped to the top of the projector we see the instruction manual. It's extremely comprehensive actually. A couple of languages there as well, but it helps you through all of the basic setup and dives into some of the features associated with HDR and other things. This unit features Sony's brand new X1 processor, and with that, object-based video processing. Essentially, in real time, frame by frame, it's developing a sense of what that image is doing, and even parts of that image, manipulating it. If something's fast moving with a stationary background, it knows to deal with the stationary part differently to the fast moving parts, and that's utterly perfect. It's genuinely the best video processor available in any residential projector, and it's wonderful to see at such an affordable price. The projector itself is relatively small. It's slightly smaller than its big brother the 7000, and it's affected of course by the smaller laser lamp. It's also more compact for a number of reasons that I'll touch on in a moment. Okay, there's the packaging. Fold it up and get rid of the box. Now the projector is certainly not compact, as you can see. but it's relatively compact compared with its big brother, the 7000. Like the 7000, it's wrapped in this sort of bubble paper, and it's very, very easy to open that up. Okay, getting rid of the packaging, we see a couple of things. Firstly, as I tilt it forward, the Sony logo, which is beautifully embossed in the top, is covered and protected by a little piece of that sort of tape that the sticky on it's quite soft, and so it's peeled off with no sticky residue. There's another piece which covers one of the hidden panels, and as we open it, just pull it off to one side for a second, we see the manual approach to the lens shift. It allows you to move the lens both left and right and up and down. You can be a little bit off centre if required, or replace a projector that had left or right lens orientation, which is a huge feature. And of course, because those things you really only set up once, doing it manually isn't a big deal. Okay, it's held in place with a couple of magnets. Looking at the front, we see a couple of things. Now, firstly, there's a few LED indicators for both standby and your classic warning light, the ones that blink those messages should you have issues with lamp or temperature or something like that. The lens itself is protected in transit with a lens cap, and that lens cap has a little notch in place to stop the focus and zoom rings moving in transit. So again, the 7000 has all of this motorised, so you do it with the remote control. This one's manual. Now that's not a big deal, particularly for its price. Understand it's very expensive to add all of this from a motorisation perspective, and let's be honest, with a remote you can always sort of tap it a little bit too much and end up having to back things off. Manual means, of course, you're touching it and able to change things infinitely variable. So there's an advantage and disadvantage to doing it manually versus a motor. Nevertheless, we see the lens, which is beautiful as far as its optics. We also see this massive grille at the front. Now this of course is to ensure that the laser lamp can be cooled with a massive amount of airflow with not a lot of noise, and that's really, really important. Spinning it around, we see, and again hang around for the close-up photographs, you see this beautiful Sony logo. It's subtle yet elegant in the way that they've positioned it. Over here we see the 4K SXRD and the ES, of course, reserved for some of their best products. As we tip it over, we see a couple of vents at the front there and some warnings associated with its operation. Spinning it around, at the rear we see the IEC power input and the other half of the ventilation, along with a duplication of the infrared sensors associated with the basics of its operation, allowing this to perhaps sit in front of the control position or have a discrete IR emitter placed at the back. Massive ventilation means it can run so quietly, yet keep under control the fact that it runs a high quality laser lamp. Now on that note, the laser lamp will deliver up to 20,000 hours. Now, that's a huge amount. I don't know if any of you have owned a projector, comment if you have, but these lamps that last between 2,000 and 4,000 hours, we sort of understand that maybe a couple of lamp lives and pretty much it's time to change the projector. It could be 5 or 10 years later. But 20,000 hours allows you to use this in a far more prestigious way. Have a lot more fun, watch an extra movie, watch all those Netflix series, all of those types of things without a worry to the lamp costs. And Sony have backed this up with a 5-year, 15,000 hour warranty to highlight just how good these products are and how robust they are as well. Continuing on to look at the product, we see at the side the basic operation as far as power on and off, input selection and menu, along with the sort of jog control that we might be familiar with. Up, down, left, right, enter are all controlled with this little wee button in the middle. And there's a button associated with lens, and that shifts between some of the operations for any number of the control options for it. And it's here, and again hang around for the close-ups, we see the inputs and outputs required for its operation. We've got a network socket. Now it's not for streaming, it doesn't have a streamer on board, it's for control and monitoring of it. We've got 2 HDMI inputs clearly labelled 1 and 2. We've got a 3.5mm 12-volt trigger for the purposes of automating the dropping of a screen or something along those lines, or maybe even a projector lift. Then we've got an IR in to avoid having to stick things on this if you need to, RS232 control and USB. Again, we've got another ventilation vent, and spinning it around. So, the projector itself, and again, I've got to pause. I've seen this in operation. It's absolutely stunning. The X1 processor is second to none. The object-based processing that they've added, again, adds another layer. It means it doesn't matter if you're watching relatively low quality or extremely high quality HDR content. It's utterly perfect. They use 3 native 4K panels to give you the colour required and deliver an almost infinite contrast ratio. This projector is genuinely perfect for its price. So it's with pride that I've introduced it today. This Sony VPL 5000 ES projector, unboxed here at the Listening Post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.